How to be spiritual and badass at the same time. Let's go.
I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I'm talking about how to be a spiritual person, but a badass at the same time, okay? First of all, let's not categorize these two things, right? Because spirituality is pretty badass if you think about it. Because it's about you creating a life by design and also by nature's code, okay? By what is most natural for you. As long as you're creating principles in life, principles coming from the word principia, right? Which is like the crux of something, the pinnacle, like the starting point, the essentials, okay? The things that are most important, the most worthy. As long as you're coming back to some kind of a foundational level and you're building from there, you're gonna understand that spirituality is badass, man. It's not this soft, fluffy, like, rainbow, marshmallow, feminine energy thing that we all think it is, okay? It goes vast into the quantum and unseen states of mind or reality. It goes very, very deep into different subject lines that overlap from, some people claiming paranormal activity to, the most basic, altering of one's consciousness. And the world is changing now based on all of these, and it's slowly starting to accept the newer paradigms that are coming through, which are much more conscious paradigms. The issue is a lot of men and women are split between this like hustle culture that's telling them to go and make lots of money and spirituality. They seem to be going at two opposing poles, whereas the new paradigm is we can be free, we can be rich, we can be, abundant. We don't need to go based on this, model of the world keeping us stuck. Like, we are part of the system, but we got to understand that we can create our own system as well, okay? Because we are systematic people, we are logical people, we are rational people. At the same time, we have a spiritual side. I'm a spiritual being first, having a human experience. You see what I'm saying? So when I see so many of these like spiritual groups and stuff like that, look at most of the people in the group. They're like, they're kind of like jaded and wild and lonely and strange, people. Oftentimes they're the misfits, the rebels of the world, right? The ones that want to make a difference, that didn't really fit in, that found out they gotta trust in their own internal world in order to heal, that they understand, man, that there's something going on that's deeper than what this superficial surface level layer of what everyone is actually saying and what people actually mean are two different things. And it's almost like we get these BS goggles, right? The belief system goggles, right? Or bullshit detector goggles that we can see through illusion or Maya, right? When you're in the spiritual process, you can see through the Maya or the illusion. You're like, what? This is not even legit, right? Like, what are people talking about? What? But that knowingness is not going to be, imposed onto everybody that you meet. That's the thing. Like, that's like the annoying vegan that wants to try to convert everybody, or like the Bible thumpers, that just shove it in your face until you convert. It's like, that does not work. Anything by force does not work. This is the flow state activation, okay? This is about letting go. This is about allowing what is most natural to come through. And if your spirituality is still this fake spiritual bypassing, like trying to make yourself look more cool. Ooh, look at me, I'm wearing beads, or whatever, trying to get that virtue signaling out there, then you're not living your truth. You're not in your spirit, you're not in your beingness or radiance, actually sharing from your heart or your soul. You're trying to pre-program, you're trying to pre-package and make it, sweet and splendid for the audience. But what about yourself? Are you speaking your truth? Are you opening your heart and talking about these issues? Because look at the state of spirituality, right? It's like everyone's so confused. Do I follow tarot? Do I start, collecting crystals now? Is that what I'm supposed to do? everybody's kind of lost, and that's why I've created Primal Sutra with my business partners, Ryan G. We've created this because so many men specifically are confused around spirituality. You go to any woman, she'll give you an entire essay about spirituality, but most guys, will just be like, I guess I just need to meditate. That's as far as people go in the peak performance industry, at least. It's like, I guess I just gotta meditate, right? But spirituality is so expansive, right? There's so much depth, right? From the Hermetic principles to, astrology and all this kind of different stuff, right? Gene keys and layers and even more layers, right? So I understand it can be very overwhelming. And that's the thing, right? A lot of people ask me, like, what's the proper way to use this mantra? What's the proper way to do this? Yes, there's a proper way of doing it, but then again, you gotta find your way ultimately too, through experimentation. But a lot of people, they're afraid of experimentation. You see? They're like hesitant about even starting the process. And if you start the process and you have no accountability, that's not gonna work either, right? You need to mix with a kind of spiritual community that has your thoughts in mind, your mission, shares your values and goals in a sense, right? Like the same thing in a relationship, right? If you're dating somebody, you want to have the same values and goals. You don't want to just randomly follow along with that, right? Like, I guess I have to put up with the fact that they're not family people. I guess I'm going to have to compromise the fact that, you keep sacrificing rather than living and fully getting into this interdependence, right? So that's the thing, man. Spirituality is badass. It's just the media portraying it will tell you it's fluffy and full of scented candles and that supposedly it's soft or feminine or weak or vulnerable or whatever you want to use. It's not any of that. Okay, if you want to be a real life mystic, right, and live based on your own rules, that's the most alpha male thing I could ever think of, in fact, is living outside of the conformity of the structure that someone has been given, right? If someone is breaking and going against the grain, I think that's a badass. You know what I mean? Because they're not following the status quo. They're not in this mediocrity, mindset. That's the thing. A lot of people have unprocessed traumas, right? So spirituality ultimately is about feeling good, looking good, and healing. Just healing, getting better, evolving, growing. I mean, for me, it's a philosophy, it's a life path, of course, but it's a tool. It's a tool to better myself. It's a tool that I know that I'm not this physical body, that I gotta remind myself I'm not this physical body. I'm not this, my ethnicity or the color of my skin or all these different things, right? I am light, I am spirit, I am free, I'm boundless, I'm this infinite creator. And the more I can remind myself of that, the more freer and more flow state actually takes over this whole entire process. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I gotta tell you, man. Honestly, if you are still kind of on the fence about, should I be, looking at these oracle cards, or should I be, studying this type of thing from this mentor or guru or guide or whatever, it's all about following your own intuition, and that's only going to get better with time, only if you start experimenting. Honestly, if you start thinking that way, whatever it is, just try and think of your life in the most effective way possible, right? If you want your life to get to a specific outcome or a goal, you got to think in terms of effectiveness. Is it working or is it not working? If it's not working, there's either some resistance or some self-sabotage in the way. Okay, there's something else preventing that. There's a roadblock. So as a coach, it's my job to get you to look at the roadblock and figure out what are the way to transmute it. How can we overcome this? How can we improve upon this? How can we shift this over here? Look at it from a new perspective or a new paradigm. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about, man. It's really about you owning yourself as a spiritual being on this planet. Okay? This is who we are. This is not something we must attain. This is who we are already. We are spiritual badasses. We just have to own it and physicalize it, materialize it using our thoughts, using our conscious, intentional reality shifting tools. That way, we'll be ultimately free to walk this Garden of Eden, this paradise. Sometimes we might get little glitches here and there, but ultimately, we see the beauty of the entire kaleidoscope of emotions, experiences, different spectrums of light. The beauty and the contrast of day and night and ever-shifting tides. This is the process of life. This is the process of evolution. It's the process of survival. It's the process of waking up in the morning and feeling good. If you have any more questions, shoot me a message. This was just my little rant today. Hope you're doing well. Let's go. Upward spiral game.